Um, okay, great. So we're recording now, and let's get out of YouTube and all that fun stuff. And so I imagine people are going to be dropping in and dropping out as we go. But the objective of this stream is I'm going to be making a Discord bot for the server. And I wanted to sort of show that process. And Yeah, we're just going to get started. So I have nothing set up. I've never done this before. Just a disclaimer. I do not know how to do this. And I've barely worked with Node. So this is going to be a learning experience for me. I figured maybe this would be valuable. So, and if, for example, if anyone watching knows how to do something and I'm stuck or like I'm Googling to like how to do X, feel free to pipe up. And, I'm sure there are things that you all know that I don't know, and vice versa. So, we can learn from each other as we go. What is Node? That is a great question. We'll get to it. Node is a way of running JavaScript on a server. So that's the basic idea of it. Is JavaScript normally runs in a web browser, but Node is just a way of running JavaScript on any server that you want. And so that's what it's made for, and it's really good for things like bots, because it interacts with the web really really well. So it's JavaScript on the back end. That's what Node is. Okay, so it looks like we have a couple people still coming in. So to get started, once again, for the new people who just came in, this whole stream is going to be sort of stream of consciousness. I'm going to be answering questions that you guys ask in the stream. I'm going to be trying to create a Discord bot, and just straight up, I'm going to tell you, I've never done this before. I'm going to be just as lost as you at parts, and I'm learning how to do this at the same time as you guys. So this is not prepared. So if I get stuck, I get stuck. But, that's sort of how it goes. And maybe one of you can help me if I get stuck, for example. Okay, so what I always try to do when I have such a vague goal, like how to create a Discord bot, right? Before I even open up code, I'm going to go to something called Trello. So, and you can see I've already made a board for this. We're just going to create a brand new board on Trello. We're going to call it BotStream. Team visible. Start with a template, and I want Kanban. And because it's an engineering template, let's do it. I should already have one, but okay. Team template. Bot stream. Keep cards, keep template cards, go. All right. Just sort of keeping an eye on the chat. Why am I opening this up? This has nothing to do with programming. Well, it sort of. One thing I like to do is this is a task management app. It's basically just a giant to-do list, where you can move tasks between swim lanes on the board, and a lot of people use it for project management. Some people use Jira, some people use Confluence, some people use Trello. There's all sorts of different stuff that you can use. Some people just use basic, to-do lists. So I'm going to get rid of the design board because I don't really want it. I'm going to rename this to in progress. This is going to be QA. Done is fine. To do and backlog kind of serve the same purpose for me. So I'm just going to have a to-do list. And we're going to get rid of some of these tasks, just archive them. Yeah. Archive you. I already know about this. Okay, so this is just a basic Trello board, and I just want to get you guys I just want to let you guys know that like I've set nothing up. I don't have an editor set up. I don't have a project set up. I don't have a GitHub repo. This is starting from true scratch. So we're trying to create a Discord bot, right? So the first thing that I'm going to want to do is, I'm going to let's think about like what are the different things that I'm going to need in order to create a Discord bot. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to need to set up a node project locally. Right, so I'm just going to need to get a node, just a basic hello world node application running locally. And that's going to be the basics for my bot. And then because I want this to be up on, let me read the chat. Yeah, it's free. It's freemium. There's a paid and there's a unpaid version. But yeah, like you're going to get whatever you need out of Trello on an individual project. You're going to get that for free. So I need to set up a node project locally. So that's one thing I need to do. The next thing is I'm going to need to get it on GitHub, right? Because I want to set up a GitHub repo, right? So I want to set up a GitHub repo so that people can contribute to the project. The next thing that I'm probably going to want to do is I'm going to want to connect the bot to a test Discord server. Right, so I'm going to want to get the bot on a test Discord server and just have it connected and listening. And then I want to be able to so set up a bot a command so I can command the bot from Discord. Right, so I'm going to want to do that. So I'm going to want to set up a command so I can command the bot from Discord. Once I've got that set up, that's sort of the hello world of the bot, I imagine, is, actually getting it running locally on my machine, and then moving it to a Discord server where it can listen, right? But that's kind of an issue, right? Just having a bot running on my machine, because, I go to sleep, right? I want this bot to be running 24/7. So since I shut my machine down at night, I need to have the bot running somewhere else. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the bot set up on AWS. So we're going to get the bot set up on AWS so that it's constantly running 24/7. Azure Web Services. So AWS is Amazon's cloud offering, right? It's the cloud basically. So I don't want the bot to be running on my machine. I want the bot to be running all the time. So we're gonna move it to AWS and have it running there. And so that's probably the next step. And then once I've got it on AWS, there's a couple extra things that just I, as a senior dev, know that I'm going to need. So I'm going to need to set up tests using Jest, right? So Jest is Amazon Web Services. Yeah, my bad. Lol. Too much Microsoft. My bad. So I'm going to need to set up tests using Jest. So I'm going to need to just set up a testing framework. Yeah, did Microsoft and Amazon have a love child? So I'm going to need to set up a testing framework. Jest is a really good testing framework that Facebook has released, and it tends to be used with React, but it can be used with any JavaScript code. So we're going to do some testing with Jest. And then after I set up tests, another thing that I'm going to kind of need is I'm going to need to set up a continuous integration. And what I mean by that is I've got my code on GitHub, and in order to get it onto Amazon, I'm going to need to download the code from GitHub onto the Amazon server, right? It would be really, really nice if every time someone merged a pull request into GitHub, it automatically pushed the code to my Amazon server and spinned up the bot again, right? So that's called continuous integration. So we would want to set up continuous integration to push from GitHub to AWS, right? So those are just some high-level things that I know I'm going to need to do. And then like once I've got all these things set up, you know, I've got a Node project in a GitHub repo. It can connect to Discord. It can read commands from Discord. It's going to be up on AWS. I've got tests running. And then I'm going to want continuous integration to push it from GitHub to AWS, and then I'm going to want it to have pre-commit checks on GitHub for tests, right? So the other half of continuous integration is if you've got this very dangerous thing of every time someone checks in code to master, it pushes the code and deploys it, then you have to have tests. There's no getting around it, right? So going with continuous integration, we're going to need to set up some pre-commit checks on GitHub to have it run our testing framework before it pushes the code to Amazon. So this is kind of what I see as like the steps of what we're going to need to do. And critically, you don't really need to do any of the other steps in order to do the first thing, right? So like the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a Node project locally. I don't need to care about Discord or Amazon or Jest or any of this other crap in order to set up a Node project locally. So let's do that. So I use Visual Studio Code. So we're just going to start this up. And you'll notice I don't have a project. I don't have anything up. I don't even have a GitHub repo going. So how do we start a Node project? So set up a Node project locally. So this is so I'm moving this card into in progress, right? So this is what I'm going to do to start. So okay, what is Node? How do I even get a Node project running? So I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to say Node project. Getting started. Wow. How do I start with Node.js after I installed it? But wait, I haven't even installed Node.js yet. Let's go to downloads and we can see there's some downloads here for whichever I want to use. And I'm Windows, so I would click the Windows installer. It's going to give me an MSI, and I would just run this. Fun fact, I already have Node installed. So if I open the command prompt and I type node-v, I can see I've got the latest version of Node already installed, right? So yeah, you know, some people have sexual urges. So in VS Code it gave me errors. Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, we haven't even gotten to that point yet. So like, how do we install Node? Just go to nodejs.org and install it. Okay, so now Node is installed on my machine. What can I do with it? Well, another thing I'm going to need is Node Package Manager, right, which is called npm. So npm install. So how to install Node.js and npm. So we've already installed Node.js. And npm you can do, I wonder, it's been such a long time since I've installed npm. Does it come with Node? It might come with it.
It comes with Node.
Yeah, it might come with it. So, okay. So I've got Node Package Manager already, and this is the version I'm going to use. So great, we've already got Node and npm installed. So now let's go back to how do I start a Node.js project. So you literally just create a file named app.js and you run Node in this thing. So this is on the Node.js docs, and we can just do this just to check it out. So the first thing I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to create a folder where I want these files to be. So let's find C drive development. Let's do SpawnBot. Okay, so there's my folder. I'm going to select the folder in VS Code, and it's going to open. So now you can see I've got the folder open, and if there were files in here, you could, you can create a test file .text, right? And I can just sort of create a new file, and it appears in my C drive development SpawnBot, right? So that's sort of how you start from that. Yes. So another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a workspace on VS Code. So I'm just going to set up so that there is a, can I just create, add folder to workspace, SpawnBot. So this is going to be my workspace folder. And save workspace as. This is just going to be SpawnBot workspace. Okay, great. So I've just got a workspace going in VS Code. And another thing that we're going to do is we're going to create an app.js folder or an app.js file, and we're just going to copy this in here. This is just setting up a very basic Hello World Node file. And what you can do is you can just run Node app.js. So what's going on here? Nope. I'm not on Mac, not on Unix. Right. Okay, so you can see, so what I did there is in the terminal, I navigated to my SpawnBot folder, and I just, I had my app.js in here, and I literally just typed node app.js. And then it says, I've got a server running at localhost 3000. Localhost 3000, hello world. So that's an example of, this is like the most basic, yeah, you can run VS Code from terminal, I believe. You just have to set it up in your path. So this is literally, I have and this is a Node app running locally. So what I can do is I can just Control-C just to prove it to you. I've killed the process, and I go back to localhost 3000, and it's going to spin, and it's going to tell me this doesn't exist, right? So site can't be reached, and I can start it up again. Go back, hello world, right? So this is, when I say running locally, I mean it's running on my machine, like my actual machine that I'm streaming from to you right now. So running locally usually means you're on localhost on a specific port. Most developers use port 3000. So this is what I mean when I say running locally. Yeah, not on the cloud. Am I running the local server thanks to NPM or Node? It's thanks to Node. So NPM is a package manager. So we're going to get more into what NPM is and like how you use it in a bit. But just know that NPM is a package manager. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to reorganize the code a little bit in my workspace. I'm going to create a folder named app. So this is going to be a folder named app. And this folder is going to hold, we're going to move app.js into app. And this app folder is going to hold all of my app code. I'm going to get rid of this test file. I don't care about the test file. And remove folder from workspace. There we go. So this is sort of my construction. What is XAMPP? I'm not quite sure what that is. Node Package Manager is a way of downloading JavaScript packages that people have, third-party libraries that people have written, using that code. So we're going to use it in a bit once we decide to have more things in here. So this is the very basics of Node. We've just got a server running, you can see we're just requiring HTTP. We've got a host name, a port. We're creating a server, and it says hello world when we run the server, and it's listening on port 3000. So that's the very basics of, so we've got a hello world node app running on running locally. So that's not quite where I wanted to be. So I mean, yeah, okay. So we've got this node project. Yeah, done. Sprinkles. So we've got this node project done locally. But what I want to do is I want to set up a Discord.js project locally. And we're going to move this to the top. So what is Discord.js? So Discord.js. Let's go. Let's see if it's right here. So this is actually a really cool third-party library that allows you to create a Discord bot like really easily, and it's very well maintained. There's tons of people. Here's the GitHub. You can see there's it's very active. They've got like 5,000 commits or something, and it's pretty well maintained, and like 5 million downloads. So we're going to use this to create our Discord bot. Because they've done a lot of work that we just don't want to have to do, right? I don't really care about the guts of a bot. I just want to get a bot up and running. This is written in Node, and you can utilize it using Node. So that's what I'm going to do. And you can already see they've already told you npm install Discord.js. So that's a fun. So let's see. Let's go to our. Oh, I still have my server running. Okay. Let's make this a little bigger. Yep. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to npm install Discord.js. And so I've got a bunch of warnings, which we're going to ignore. And it, one of the things it said was it doesn't have a package.json. So one of the things that it just did is it created it should have created a package.json for me. Maybe code doesn't show it. There's a package lock. Interesting. Yeah, npm init. Yeah, good point. So the package name, spawn bot, that's fine. Version 1, description. This is a Discord bot. Entry point is going to be app.js. And it might, since we have it in an app folder, it might have to be like app.js. But let's see. Test command. Let's not worry about that quite yet. Git repo doesn't exist. Keywords, we don't care. Author, Jim. License, MIT. Okay. So yeah, good point. I should have run npm init because I'm an idiot. Okay. So we've got a package.json. And the main is app.js. Now what I don't know, it might need to I might need a folder surrounding this. I'm not 100% sure. A genius idiot. Yeah. We'll figure that out as we go. It's possible that this main needs to be app.js, but we'll figure that out as we go. It'll be pretty clear once we know. So let's do this again. npm install Discord.js just to make sure that everything worked. Yep. And so it added my package, and it also did 15 other packages. And now inside my package.json, I should have a dependency on Discord.js. So you can see that right here. So another thing that I'm going to want is I'm going to want ESLint. So I'm writing JavaScript. There's a JavaScript linter. Linting your code is really good. So I'm going to want something called ESLint. So the, you can just look at the user guide, getting started, and you can just say, so once again, we're going to be using npm. So npm install ESLint. It's thinking. Okay. So it added ESLint, and it added a whole ton of packages, but we can look in our package.json. This is our package lock. We can get away from that. We can look at our package.json, and now we should have ESLint in there. Don't save. Yeah. So I had it open. So another thing I'm going to need is, so what does ESLint do? So that's sort of a broad question, but like ESLint at its core is, what's the difference between global and save dev? Global is, you want the package to be installed everywhere on your computer. Save dev, you only want it to be installed in the local folder where you're at. And the reason why you would do global is, for example, it's a package you use everywhere, like npm, right? Like that might be an example of something that you want to install globally, but you don't want the same dependencies on every project that you're working on, so that's why you would save dev. Okay, so I've got ESLint installed. What does ESLint do, right? Like, why am I doing this? I've worked with a lot of JavaScript projects over the years, and ESLint is not a compiler, but it finds problems in your JavaScript code, potential problems in your JavaScript code, and it tells you not to do them. So it lets you work with specific rules and everything to automatically read your JavaScript code and lint it. So to go along with that, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to install the extension for ESLint, which I've already done. So there's a thing on the left in VS Code called extensions. So I'm going to install the ESLint extension, which I've already done, but you can just search for extensions in the marketplace and it'll find it, and it's the most popular. And it talks about how it integrates ESLint into VS Code. And do npm install ESLint, and it says you might need to create an ESLint-rc config file. So I'm not going to go through the whole process of creating one, but I'm going to grab a sample one. So we're going to add I don't want to add a folder. I want to add a new file, an ESLint-rc file, which is empty right now. And we're going to go grab linters are like a grammar check. That's a really good analogy. So I'm going to go grab an ESLint-rc example file. And I believe Discord.js already has one that we can just grab. Yeah, let's just use these. This is good. Is there a way to copy this whole thing? Yeah, let's just use this. So an ESLint-rc file is a JSON file that has a bunch of rules in it. So I recommend just grabbing one, and not worrying about it. Right? Don't go through all the things. Just try to grab one that someone else already used, and so you can. And if we go to our app.js file, we can already see there's some errors that are being output. And another thing I can do is I can go to view output, and any problems that ESLint has are going to come up here in this output terminal. And this is part of why I like VS Code. Why does Discord.js provide this? They just have a getting started. They have a pretty good getting started guide, which just sort of runs you through this. It's not anything, it's just they've got pretty good documentation. So I would just grab one from a project that you like and use that. So you can hover and it'll tell you problems. So this is saying it expects one tab indentation, but there's 2 spaces. So we'll go ahead and just do that. Looks looks like I've got 2 spaces set up on my... Oh, I don't like that. Hold on. Where is that? Indent. Okay, I just want indent error 2. Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah, so I want it to be set up the way that I've already got it. I want it to be indent error 2. I don't want it to be indent error tab. I want it to be I want it to throw an error if my indents are more than 2 spaces. So now you can see why is it not? Maybe I need to reload the editor. Oh. ESLint extension, maybe I need to reload that. Yeah. Let's see. Oh. Good call. Yeah. It's not a string. There we go. So now it says it expects me to have an indentation of 2 spaces, but found 4. There we go. And now I need to set up. So another thing I'm going to have an issues with is VS Code set up tab for 2 spaces. Command palette. Convert indentation. Control Shift P. Indentation to spaces. Okay, that's good. Expected to, okay, and then we're gonna do, whoa. Convert indentation to spaces, convert, bottom right of VS Code, and yep, spaces 2. Indent using spaces.
Just use the indent using spaces.
Got it.
And then
thanks. I have not set my editor to format on save yet, but that's something we might want to do. So as you guys can see, there are just things that we have to figure out as we go. So cool, great. So now I've got an ESLint file running where if I add a bunch of spaces, it's going to yell at me and it's going to tell me don't do that. So this is just an example, and it just makes your life easier. It lets your code be pretty, and it lets you find random things. Looks like I have a TypeScript thing coming in. Interesting. Okay, cool. So let's not waste too much more time on that. So if you want to do format on save, you could do that using ESLint. You could also use an extension called Prettier. Prettier is pretty good. You could probably do that. That's what I tend to use for format on save. But I'm not going to worry too much about, cosmetic stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, cool. So great. We've got Node going. We've got ESLint going. And let's go back to our guide on Discord.js. So we installed Discord.js. We haven't used it yet, right? So let's go to guide and figure out. So we've already set up our linter, our node, and this is good. So next, let's do a random So I don't want to do this whole bot application yet. I want to use Discord.js. So is there a ping example? Yeah, here we go. So this is they have an example of like using Discord.js to create a ping application. So it looks like you require Discord.js, and so let's go ahead and go away from our app, and instead we're going to create bot. So looks like, yeah. Yep. Okay. And we're also gonna use strict. Whoa, what is this? What is this going on here? Okay. And you create a client, and then you do onReady, and you have a message listener that listens for messages, and it looks like you have a client token, and it looks like you look for the message content, and if the message content equals something, then you respond. So we're just going to do a random ping bot, which I think is pretty cool. Let's do this over here, and this. Is there a way to, well, we can do that. Sorry, it's going to be hard for me to watch the chat at the same time. Okay, oops, client is uppercase. Yes. So this is part of what makes using an editor very cool, is you get autocomplete. So since I'm requiring this third-party library, Visual Studio is telling me, oh, there's a method called client in here. So that's pretty good. So whoa. Client.onReady. And this is some ES6 arrow syntax. If you don't know what ES6 is, now why is it doing that? Okay. Okay. Ready. Okay, so that's just gonna do that, and then we're gonna listen for messages. Message. The message is this, and this is literally just an if statement. If the content is ping, we're going to send pong. Okay. And this login down here, we are not going to worry about that quite yet, but let's go ahead and client.login, your token here. Let's not worry about that. So this, if I save this, if I run this right now, like if I node bot.js, it should just work. So if I open a terminal, and so I'm in my, so if I do node bot, whoops, node bot.js, I'm not in the right folder. Okay. And is it running? It's possible the client, we need to set it up to go to localhost. What font am I using? This is, yeah, I'm not sure. This is equal arrow. Yeah. Is there something I'm missing about this? Maybe there's something I'm missing about possible I already need to... Okay, so, I mean, that's something we already have to do, right? So let's go ahead and do it. We already have to, like, that's one of our tasks that we know that we have to... so we're in progress setting up a Discord project locally, and we're also going to connect the bot to a test Discord server. We're going to need to do that anyways. So, yeah, yeah, like, that's exactly what it looks like we need to do. We need to go to the Discord dev portal and get a token. So let's move this back in here. And so in here, setting up a bot application, this sort of walks you through the whole thing. So we're going to go to Discord. And is there a way? Developer portal. Here we go. I'm logged in. So I need to create a new application, I believe. Yeah. Spawn bot. Okay, and this gives me a client ID and a client secret. I wonder if Discord's developer mode, are these blurred out for you, these numbers? Just FYI. I'm just curious. Can you guys see this number? Yeah, interesting. It says it blurs them out, but who knows? Anyways, this is public, so I'm not super worried about it. Okay, so you get a new application, you get a new page like that, and I believe I have to create a bot. So we're going to add a bot. Spawn bot. And we have a token. And yes, token leaks, all that fun stuff. Do not ever share this token with anybody. At some point, it's possible I may need to cut the stream or at least black out my monitor so that, but I doubt I'm going to need to. We'll see. So how do I add my bot to a server? I have to do this and construct a URL with the client ID of the bot, and it should just work. So if I do this, let's go into code. Whoops. Let's just do a new file. And the client ID is the client ID of my bot. Is it this one? Might be the token. Let me check. Yeah, it's the application that the bot belongs to. Yeah. So this client ID. Yeah, I will be creating a temp Discord server. Yeah, definitely. So there's my client ID, and it's scoped to bot. And so the next thing I'm going to want to do is create an actual Discord server and invite it. Yeah, so let's do that. I'm going to go to Discord, add a server. Oh, another server, huh? And this is going to be spawn bot testing ground. Okay. Okay. I'm not going to invite friends. None of you are allowed in. So this is a brand new server, and I'm going to invite my bot to the server by using that URL. And so now it's saying, okay, spawn bot, add a bot to spawn bot testing ground. And great, authorize, beep boop. Authorized. Okay, so now my bot should be able to connect to that specific server, and it should show up. So there you go. Spawn bot is now a member of the server. It's offline right now because it's not running. But I should be able to log in to the server using my token. Right? So here is where I might need to cut the server. Anyone know? Anyone know if there's a way for me to do this without cutting the server?
Apparently not.
Yeah, because like I don't want you guys to see this. I don't want anyone to see this token. Okay, so what I'm gonna do.
Can you open the browser for a moment? The documentation.
Yeah. So it says you need to. So like getting my bot up and running, you have to put your token in here, and this is gonna be a plain text. It's gonna be this token. And I don't want to reveal that to like publicly, right? So what I might do is I might just cut the stream for like 10 seconds. Yeah, I'm gonna cut the stream for like 10 seconds, and well, you know what? I'm just gonna I'm not super worried about it. This is a test, right? So we're just gonna there's the token. It's public. Who cares? Okay, so there's my token. And obviously, you know, we don't want to keep this in here. I'm going to have to regenerate this after I'm done with the stream. Yeah, living dangerously. I have the token. Yeah, no, I'm going to have to cut this and regenerate the token after this stream, just to make sure that nobody, you know, has access to the bot. And now you guys have access to my bank account. Congrats. So no, it's just what you can do is you can regenerate the token, and it'll, you know, it's just they just assume these tokens will get out at some point. So okay, cool. So now I should just be able to log in to the client using this token if this bot is running. So if I do node bot.js, so now the bot is running. It says ready, and it should be logged into my Discord server, and it is. So SpawnBot is now logged on, it's online, and remember, one of the things that we did is we said if there's a message in the server that says ping, the bot should respond with Pong. And if I respond with random message, the bot should not respond, right? So it is specifically looking for the text ping, and it's going to respond with Pong. So, yeah, you're gonna see it anyway in the code, and yeah, I'm gonna have to delete it afterwards. So this is like the hello world of getting a bot application up and running. And you guys can see it took me like less than an hour, and most of that was, you know, futzing around with my editor. So I've got, you know, the bot is running. I can continue to ping it, but this isn't really very helpful, right? Like this is kind of you know, not really what we want to do. So let's keep going. And let me go back to the, yeah, so, yeah, exactly. If I turn my computer off, the bot will stop responding because the bot will not be logged in. Just like if you turn your computer off right now, you will log out of Discord because you're not on Discord. So the bot is currently running locally. It's currently running locally. It says ready. And then if I Control C, the bot's not running anymore. If I go back to Discord, the bot should log off. So let's see if I suspect that Discord's user who's online right now only refreshes every couple minutes. But the bot is offline right now. Like, it is no longer running because I killed it. Even though Discord says it's still online, I suspect the reason for that is because it only checks every once in a while. Yeah, I typed ping and it didn't work. So, yeah, so like what I'm doing right now is I've shown you like this is like the bare bones project structure. Like what would a folder structure look like? Whatever you want, right? Like for what we have right now, just getting a ping bot, this is what we need. As we add features to our bot, it's going to become cumbersome to have just a single folder named app. So what we're going to start doing is we're going to start adding additional folders as we add additional features. So as we need to break the code out into smaller files and more files, we're going to add folders and we're going to restructure it. But for now, it just has a single folder called app. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know how often the Discord servers check whether someone is online or not, but yeah. So, okay, cool. So we have this Hello World bot, and he's ready. He's online. I can ping him. Cool. So let's go back to our Trello board and take a look. So I've set up a Discord.js project locally. Yes, I did that. And we're going to connect the bot to a test Discord server. Yes, we did that. Okay, so what are we going to do next? Well, we're going to put it on GitHub. So currently I've just got my local bot up and running. And yeah, so like if I really wanted to, have full features, instead of killing the process, I would tell the bot to log out or whatever. And yes, I'm going to have to use an environment to hide my client ID. So the first thing I'm going to look up is how to hide client ID in GitHub. There is a way. There's a .env file that I can use. Yeah, client on disconnect. How to hide your API keys. What's the best practice here?
Can I interject for a moment?
Yeah, go ahead.
So GitHub stores the code, right? You do not want to save the client ID and client secret. Since you're using AWS, you should save the ID and secret on the AWS side. So we're just gonna code the bot, and in the future you just need to save the environment variable on the AWS, which the program will read from the environment variable.
I agree with that, and we'll get there. But I don't want to introduce AWS into the equation quite yet. Yeah, he can talk. He's fine. Once again, I don't actually know a lot of these things. I'm just sort of learning as I go. So if anybody knows anything that will solve the problem, like for example using a .env file, which is a really good idea. So there's what Kara linked. Is this there's a node package called .env, right? Which I'm going to install right now, and it's going to use a .env file to. So we're going to do that. And yes, I agree. AWS can store our tokens for us, but I don't want to introduce AWS yet. We just want to move the code to GitHub, and yeah, and we just want to move the code to GitHub, and we don't want to have this token in the code. We don't want to put that token in the GitHub. So that's what I'm going to use. I think I'm going to use .env to start. And then once we move to AWS, once we move to, I keep trying to say Azure. Once we move to Amazon Web Services, we're going to sort of deprecate .env. But for now, we can use this. This looks good. So we're going to npm install. Okay, so now we should have .env in our thing, and now it says we need to create a .env file in the root directory of our project. Okay, and we're going to create a .env with our client token, which is this. And I believe the way that it's structured is it just wants a variable. So this is going to be client token is that. Great. And then what we do is in our code, whenever we want to get one of these tokens, whenever we want to get one of these secrets, we will require do we have to require? Yeah, we have to require .env.config. So let's do that. And okay, I don't know if we need to have a variable or not, but we'll see. It's possible we don't. Let's try it. Dot client token. Okay, so now we've extracted that token out into its own file, and yes, we're going to have to use a .getignore. That's a good point. Let's see if this works first. So let's go to our app folder, node.js. Oop. Invalid token was provided. It's possible, since the token is not a string. I wonder if we can do this. Add strings. Okay. Interesting. That didn't work. Oh, it's still offline. Okay. So let's see. So what I suspect is happening is this does not store it in a specific in a string way. Config will read your env file, parse the contents, assign it to process.env, and return an object with a parsed key. Result.parsed. Ah. Sorry, I'm not reading chat. Try logging it first. Yeah, that's a good point. So let's comment this out. Console.log process.env.client client token. I suspect this is giving us an object. Sorry, coding police. Undefined. Okay. So this is a good opportunity to see if we can debug a node. Do we have node debug support? Yes, it's enabled. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to debugging and see if this just works. So what I did is I'm debugging it, and now I've got the debugger and it's stopped on here. So now I can start stepping through and see what's wrong. Process.env, okay. Process.env.client token. Huh. This looks correct. It needs to be on the same folder as the JS file. Well, that's annoying. Does it? In the root directory. No, it's... The command must be run at the root directory, not the app directory. Well, if that were true, then this wouldn't work at all, right? But it is getting us the token. That's the correct token. Let's do this again and see what we get. What happened? Oh. Let's see what we get here. We get in the console, we're gonna like, so we're actually getting the correct token, but in the console, yeah. So I don't see what the issue is. Let's try this again. I believe this was just a issue. Let's try node bot data. No. Invalid token. Undefined. Yeah, console.log is undefined. For whatever reason, process.env works when I'm debugging, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work when it's running. So what does that mean? Yeah, it might be a you know what? This might be a promise. The terminal is in the app directory. Ah. Good point. There it is. Yep, bot's running. Ping pong. Okay, cool. Yep, you were. That was a good point. Thanks. How do I say your name, by the way? Is it Greco? Greco? I don't know. Cool. Yeah. So that's what it was. I was in the wrong directory. You have to run app bata.js. So that's a good point. So that's another thing. What we're gonna do is in our node, in our main. So this is going to be app bot.js, I believe. So now, if I just run node, nope, not node. Node run. Run main script. Might be node run. npm run. No test specified. That's fine. npm run insert name. Is it main? No. npm run app.js. Nope. Create a new script. npm start. Scripts start. Yeah, that's it. And it's going to be node bot.js. Need a comma. There it is. Okay, bot's running. Let's go test. Ping. Okay. Let's go ahead and terminate. Would I be able to just do npm start as well? Yes. Okay. So that's what we want to do. We want to have it so that when we run npm start from the root directory, Cool. Great. So now what we can do is from our root directory, if we do npm start, it's going to start our app. Eric, what is this? I'm hitting a number of issues. No, this Eric, this is my process. Like this, I'm not. This is how I work through things. This is what it looks like. This is development. It actually happens to be a lot easier because I've got a lot of people here helping me. So cool. Great. So now we've got our project in such a place where what we can do is we've got a bot that runs. We are logging our client token to the console every time we run. We don't want to do that. We've got an env file that has our client token in it, and anytime we run the bot, it's going to look for the env, the environment variable, instead of having it hard coded into our bot. Yeah, bugs everywhere. So great. So now what we can do is we can upload this to GitHub. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to create a gitignore file and ignore certain things. So set up gitignore for node. Yes. So what I definitely want to do is I want to create a .gitignore file in my root, and what I want to do is I definitely want to ignore star.env. So that's the first thing that I definitely want to ignore. So what a gitignore file is it tells Git, I want you to ignore all of these types of files in this directory. I do not want you to upload any of these files. So we've already gotten something like that. This environment file. I do not want my client token to be uploaded to Git when we decide to do this. So yeah. So now what we do is we're gonna upload this to GitHub. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to GitHub and you can look at my latest ticket. No thanks. Okay. Let's create a new repo and let's call it spawnbot. description. This is a Discord bot. Let's make it public. Let's have a README. And we're going to have a git ignore that, we're going to do a git ignore that has node on it. And license, let's do MIT. Why not? Okay. So we've got a new repo. There's a git ignore here. Let's see, do we have envs in here? Yes. Great. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to upload my Git I'm going to upload this folder to GitHub. So the first thing is, do I have Git? Yes. Okay, so I did git init, upload new project to GitHub. So I do git init. Git add everything. Okay. I don't know what that just did. Oh, node modules is not ignored. Good point. Yeah, we added everything, including the node modules. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to copy this git ignore file. Into my git ignore right here. So I just copied it locally. And so now it should ignore node modules. Yes. So node modules is being ignored. So next I need to figure out how to undo a git add. Undo git add. Git reset. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so that's exactly what we just did. Is I copied the entire git ignore file from GitHub, and that includes node modules in there, and we are going to do that again. Got it. So we've got our package lock, all that fun stuff, and then we're gonna do git commit. And do I need a branch? Let's go ahead and create a branch. Just to sort of show the pull request process. So we're just going to do spawnbroker.initial commit. Unless, yeah. So the process that I like to do is I like to create branches and then merge them into master. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a branch. So this is git commit branch spawnbroker.initial commit, and unknown switch B. I normally do this on Mac OS, so maybe Git is different on Mac OS. Let's try it. Yeah. Let's just try a git commit, see what happens. Okay, so that's our initial commit. And this would be just git push origin master. Git push origin master, right? Yeah, git status. Let's try that. We're on master. There's nothing to commit. We did a commit. Let's see if git push. It's possible I am not connected to GitHub. Spawn bot. I do not want to do that, but I do want the Git desktop client. I have this. Is there a username? Yeah. I'm probably not connected. I'm not connected to GitHub via this terminal. You know what? You know what's possible? It's possible I've never actually done this on Windows. VS Code to GitHub. We have Git, we have GitHub, we have a repo, we have the project. Click on the Git icon. Yeah. I have to add the remote. Yeah, good point. So this would be git remote add origin, git add github.com. github.com, and then it's spawn broker spawn bot. Yeah. Looks okay. Ah. Use git clone. I don't want to use git clone though, right? Because git clone creates another project. I want to push my current project into the Git repo, into the GitHub repo. And I believe what's going on is I don't have a token. Oh, I don't want to watch a YouTube video about this. So I have my username. Connecting to GitHub via command line with SSH. Oh, we can just use HTTPS. It's possible. Command line Windows. All right, I did my first commit, and now I have the. Let's see if we can just do it via the GitHub. Yeah, git remote add origin remote repo URL. Let's see if I can just do that. Quick setup. Where is that? Use HTTPS. Let's see if I can just do this. No. Git remote add origin. Let's see if this works. Remote origin already exists. Remote set URL origin. Yeah. There it is. So why can I still not see it? Interesting. Git fetch. Okay. I've got stuff. Let me try reloading the editor. It's very possible it crashed. Yeah. So it's possible I was not able to stage any of my changes or do any. And so let's see if I can do git add dot. Okay. Git status. We're on master, nothing to commit. That's weird because there should be things to commit. I don't want to pull. Git log. Yeah, there is a commit. Git push origin master. There it is. I don't know why it's trying to do this. Quick, get the two-factor code. But do you know my other password? Failed to push some refs. The tip of my current branch is behind. I don't want to get pull. Get stash? Why would I get stash? I don't want a stash. I want to push everything into the repo. Right? There's already a commit on GitHub. Is there? Oh. Yeah. So, do I just git fetch? Well, what's git pull gonna do? Like, really? it's gonna replace my git ignore, right? Which is fine. That's what I want it to do. So if I just do git pull, then it's not going to delete anything, right? I can just pull and then push everything into the remote. Yeah. So let's just pull. And normally this would be a big issue because my branch is behind, or my current branch is behind master, but like there's just one thing in there. So I'm not really that worried about it. So we're going to do git pull, origin master. Okay. Fatal, refusing to merge unrelated histories. So maybe what I do is we did an initial commit on GitHub, which was this thing. And then we have a commit locally, git status. Nothing to commit. So git add dot. So like, git add dot is not doing anything. Delete the .git directory? Yeah. Let's try it. Yeah, we did have all those weird node modules ads. So that was probably a problem. So we just do git init. Spawn bot. Okay. And so that was an init. And then we add, yeah, so stage all changes, initial commit, initial bot setup, and commit. So now it's committed, and then we're going to do git push origin master. Where did everything go? I did a commit. Git remote add. Oh yeah, I have to do the right. Git remote add. Origin. That's it. Okay. So I have an origin. Git push origin master. Failed to push. Ugh. Okay. All right. Git directory's gone. Git init. And then git remote add origin my repo. Okay, so now I've got my repo. And then I can do stage all my changes. right? Am I going crazy? um, initial
Wait,
bot setup.
git pull, git pull, git pull, git pull.
What? Git pull? Ah. There it is. Okay. So now I've got my changes. Now I can do my commit. What am I doing wrong? So, starting from git init. Git has been initted. Git pull origin master. Sorry, I have to add the remote. Git remote, add origin. Here's my remote. Great. Pull origin master. Okay. The following untracked working tree files could not be overwritten by merge. Git ignore. Move or remove them. We'll go ahead and... Should I just remove this file then? Could not be, would be overwritten by merge. Please move or remove them before merging. That's fine though, right? I'm not super worried about that. Okay. Git push origin master. No, I have changes I need to stage. Bot setup. Okay, so there's my commit. And then I should just be able to git push origin master. Huh. I have a feeling what's happening. I think I know what's happening. This git ignore file is not allowing me to pull correctly because it already exists. So I have a feeling that's what's happening. Maybe I should just do a git fetch. Oh, yeah, go ahead. I'm clearly stuck. If anybody knows how to fix this problem.
Okay, delete the git folder first.
Yeah.
Okay, and then git init again.
Okay.
Yeah, just do that. Great. Now, git remote add. The same thing.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, and then git pull. Do not commit it first. So
So what's issue
from the server.
So the issue is
So the issue is we need to fetch the.
So here's the problem. It has an error when I git pull. So this git ignore file is giving me an error because it's
Well, it's the same thing, right? The git ignore is the same contents with the GitHub one, right?
Yes.
So I think it's okay to delete it, and then when running git pull, it will fetch the latest.
Let's try it. Okay.
Okay, now commit.
just go ahead and add everything. Did that do it? I think the GitHub, the Git integration crashed. There it is. So it did stage my changes. What is A? Index added. Let's unstage all changes. Okay. So this looks good. Stage changes. Okay, they're committed. And now just git push origin master, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was it. The git ignore file was preventing a pull from happening. So this git ignore, it was not pulling for whatever reason, because I thought pull just always did it, even if it conflicted. But I don't know. So maybe that's a bug in Windows Git. That's very possible, where like git pull doesn't succeed if there's a conflict. Okay, so now you can see I've got it set up on GitHub. So all of my files that were there, that were local, are now in GitHub. And critically, you'll notice if we look at the bot.js code, we've got this process.env.client token, and the env file is not on GitHub. So that is kind of where we wanted to go. Yeah, so we probably should have used some sort of force with the pull, but that's fine. Sorry that took so long, but like that's, that kind of stuff happens. So okay, cool. So let's look at our Trello board. So we set up a GitHub repo, and I do need to set up a command so I can command the bot from Discord. But I think another critical thing that would be good to have would be to set up the bot on AWS. So before I start actually coding this, I'd like to get this onto Amazon Web Services. So that's kind of the next, I think, big step. Is now that we're on GitHub. Let me delete some of these. So now that we're on GitHub, we're going to set this up on AWS and copy the code into AWS. And then we've got a, yeah, exactly. So I think that would be another cool thing to do, and I think we have enough time, is to set up an EC2 server on AWS and then copy the code into AWS, and then have our little bot running on AWS. Because we've got our bot running right now, right? I can just do npm start. I can just do npm start, and my bot's running, and I go to here, and I can ping it. Cool, great. And the next, another critical thing that we just set up is we have Git going. So now, I can start actually doing a correct development process, where I create branches and then merge the branches into master. That's good. But I think the next critical step is we need to get this on the cloud, because I want it to be running all the time. I don't want it to be running on my local machine. Yeah, I mean, you're totally right. A senior dev took more than 30 minutes just to solve Git problems. Yeah, it takes a while to get into this kind of stuff. So okay, cool. So our next, the next thing on our Trello board is, we could set up tests using Jest. That's a thing that we could do. We could also do the bot on AWS. We could move it to AWS. And then we could start trying to do continuous integration. But I think it might be better to do it might be better to do some testing, just like test our methods, or just make sure that we can get testing set up, and then push it to GitHub. That might be worthwhile. What do you guys think? Do you want to do AWS, or do you want to do testing? I think maybe AWS. I think maybe AWS would be like the next big step. Because like this is all scaffolding that I was planning on doing on my own before I actually let anybody else contribute to the project. You know, getting it set up on AWS, getting tests going, and then getting continuous integration. Testing is a big topic, but basically the idea is you want to have you want to set things up in such a way so that you can run unit tests on your code before it even hits other servers. And that way you can see if things are going to break before you even run the code. We'll do testing another time. I think getting it set up on AWS is better. So let's do this. So we're going to move the bot to AWS. So how do we do that? Well, I found a fun little deploying a Node app on Amazon EC2. So this is a Hacker Noon article, which I found via some quick Googling. And basically, we're going to set up an EC2 instance, SSH into it, and then we're going to copy all of our GitHub code into the EC2 instance and then have it run. We're also going to have to install Node, but this sort of walks us through it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to launch an EC2 instance. So Amazon Web Services, my account. Okay, I have nothing on this account, so I don't really care if you guys see my AWS account. I don't have anything personally, but what we do want to do is we want to make a new EC2 server. So let's go ahead and launch an EC2 instance, which I'm pretty sure is as simple as just clicking on EC2 and saying launch. Okay, and do they have Ubuntu? Yes. Let's do that. Are there any better? What's the difference? Is one what's the difference between these two? I am curious. I don't think there is a difference. It's possible this is just on a later update. Yeah, so let's go with the newer one. Sure. General purpose. This is not gonna, I mean, we can even go lower. This is not gonna take up much memory. Yeah, I mean, we'll do a micro. Yeah, I mean, I think we're just going to do a micro, and this will be fine. I don't think anything crazy. Let's configure. We only want one instance. We don't really care which network, about the network or subnet or any of this stuff. We do want a public IP. So I'm going to enable auto assign public IP. We do want a public IP because we want to connect to this. Okay. I don't really care about reserve capacity, maybe. Shutdown behavior. Yeah, stop. That's fine. Hibernate behavior. None of this I really care about. I don't want to check this unlimited box because this is the kind of thing that it's going to add additional CPU utilization if I check this, and if like tons of people start spamming the bot, then I'm going to get charged a lot of money. Yeah, like this is a deep topic, but we really just want to go pretty basic here. Add storage. 8 gigs is fine. Like, we're not gonna go crazy with this. Like, how big is this folder? 25 megs. So this is not gonna get big unless the logs get huge, but the logs are gonna be stored in Discord anyways, so we'll be fine. Encryption, let's not worry too much about that. For the root volume, yeah, general purpose SSD is fine. Yeah, add tags. I don't care about any tags. Configure security groups. Now here we do want to do some changes. There are alternatives to AWS. You can use Google Cloud, which is newer, and it's sort of in its infancy compared to AWS. AWS is definitely more expensive. And then there's Azure, which is Microsoft. Azure is pretty nice. I've used it, but more people use AWS. So I imagine AWS is what most people are going to want to use. Yeah, we're going to want an SSH port. Yeah, that's fine. And then we're going to want HTTP and HTTPS. Okay. We're going to want all that. And we want anyone can connect. Just because I don't really care. Yeah. This looks fine. Now. Yeah, I mean, it is open to the world. That's fine. This is just a test. We're going to use a key pair anyways. Yeah. Okay. I need a new key pair. Okay, and we're going to download the key pair. Okay, there's a PEM file. So you guys might be wondering what a key pair is and what a PEM file is. This is the basics of encryption. There's a public key and a private key. The public key is stored by AWS, and the private key is stored by you. And basically, think of it like a key and a lock. The public key is the lock. The private key is the key. So as long as you have the private key, you can connect to the public key. And only people with the private key are allowed to connect. So that's how it works. So that's the basics of public encryption, basically. As long as I've got this PEM file, I can connect to the server, and anybody who has this PEM file is allowed to connect. And great. And this is fine. We're going to move this. into, just for now, like, I'm not going to put it in the same folder as here, but I'm going to put it in the development folder. I'm not going to put it in my project directory, just because I don't want it to. Yeah, they're launching. That's fine. View instances. It's running. It's probably going to take a couple minutes in order to run, but like this is the EC2 dashboard, and this is what it was looking like. So what this is a computer. It's booting up right now, and it's going to run an Ubuntu Linux installation, and then what we can do is we're going to log into it, and we're going to install. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to install Node, because our bot has a hard dependency on Node, right? Like we can't run our bot without running Node. So we have to install Node on the server that it's going to be running on. And then we're going to, once we log in and install Node, we're going to deploy our code to the server and we're going to run it. So that's, yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to SSH in and probably yeah. Yeah, so I think, let's see, it might take a couple minutes. What I'm going to do actually is I need to use the bathroom. So I'm going to mute myself and take a 2-minute break. But I'll be right back and we'll continue setting up AWS. Any questions or anything about like what's going on or? Cool. Be right back while we wait. Hello, sweetie.
I made the halva.
Oh, okay.
I got bored.
All right.
And I made it. I burnt the bottom a little bit, but it ended up being a happy accident.
Okay.
I think because the Dutch oven gets too hot too fast, and it actually ended up caramelizing some of the sugar and the milk and the farina. And it tastes really good.
Okay, cool.
So happy accident.
Yay. I'm going to go for another half an hour to an hour, and then I'm good.
Okay, how's it going?
It's going pretty well. You know, I think it's going well.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, I am back. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, okay, cool. So I think we can continue. Maybe, oh, there it goes. It's running. Cool. Great. So let's SSH into it. Do we need git bash? Do I have it? I have it. Nice. Nice. Okay. Cool. So first thing I need to do is navigate into the directory where I have the key file. So this is, I'm in sorry guys, I live in a city, so what's the difference? Ordinary VPS, like DigitalOcean versus EC2. The difference is those VPS companies are probably paying AWS for for servers. That's what the difference is. Yeah, like they're probably spinning up AWS instances for you instead of you doing it yourself. So but yeah, maybe DigitalOcean has their own servers. I'm not 100%, but yeah, I just go with AWS because everyone uses it. It's pretty easy to use. You just gotta play around with it, and you know. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Okay. Okay, so I've got git bash open. I need to go to where my key is. So let's do. Oh, there it is. Spawnbot key pair. So we're gonna change the permissions on the key to spawnbot key pair.pem. There it goes. And then we're gonna SSH into our EC2 instance. So what is our public IP? It's right here. And our EC2 user, how do I find... Is it... It's not this, is it? Find EC2, how to SSH EC2 server. EC2, is it, do I just do EC2 user? That can't be right. Yeah, EC2 user must be the how to find EC2 user. Oh, that is that actually the name of the account, or is it root? It might be root. I think it's root. So it's going to be SSHI, path to my key pair, root at... Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry. Coding police. Okay. SSHI, spawnbot key pair.pem. Root at And then I need the public DNS. This one. Copy. Okay. Yeah. Let's try it out. Authenticity of host cannot be established. Yes. Verify the fingerprint in the security alert matches the fingerprint that you previously obtained. Okay. I'm just going to enter yes because I'm not worried about a man in the middle attack yet. Please log in as the user Ubuntu rather than the user root. Oh, good to know. Okay. All right. So now I've got an SSH tunnel into my AWS server. Yep, and so I would use sudo command, yeah, for admin stuff. Great, awesome. So next, what we're gonna do is I don't want to start an Apache server. Yeah. Okay, so I'm SSH'd into my EC2 instance. Okay. To install Node. Oh yeah, so we're just going to install Node now. So let's just do this. Oh, am I not allowed to paste? Paste into git bash. Control-Shift-V. Interesting. Copy. All right, fine. Okay, GitHub user content, CreationX, NVM, version 0.33.1. Downloads. There is no user interface of the server. This is the user interface, as far as I can tell. Source code. No, I don't want the source code. install latest Node.js from curl. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. Yep. What is deb.nodesource.com? Is that the Debian? Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's good. Great. So now I should have Node. Great. Yes. Okay. So it's currently installing on my Ubuntu instance. And then let's see. Okay, it's done. Node V. Great. I have Node. NPM. Great. I have NPM. So I've currently got Node and NPM on my Amazon server installed. So good to go. Okay. So now I've got Node installed on my Amazon server. I need to get the code onto the Amazon server. So how do I do that? I can download it from GitHub. I can just use Git, honestly. That's probably the best way. So let's do sudo yum install git. Interesting. Sudo apt install git. Just make sure that's up. Okay. Okay, now we have git. Okay. So now we have Git on Ubuntu, and then what we want is we want to get the, so we want to clone from GitHub. So let's clone from here. Oh, and I can't paste. Yeah, so it's just github.com, spawnbroker, spawnbot.git. Where am I? Is it ls? Interesting. Okay, so GitHub, spawnbroker, spawnbot.git, and it might care about this. Okay. So now we have a directory called spawnbot, and let's go in here, and we can see we've got our stuff, we've got our app, and we've got Node running. So what this means is now that I'm in my directory, I can just do npm start. Oh, So I forgot to npm install. So that's what we're going to need to do. Yeah, we need to install our dependencies. So I downloaded the code, but the code doesn't have our node modules folder in it because it was one of the node modules was one of the things that we told it not to download. So I need to npm install. Okay, now we've got all of our node modules. So if I look, yep, there's a node modules folder. So now I should be able to npm start, and I expect this to fail because I don't actually have my key file. Module not found. And I suspect the reason why this is happening is because I've got a Windows thing in there. So what I need to do is I need to figure out how to, in my in my package.json, I need to figure out how to get rid of this Windows. Start Windows versus Linux. Let's see. npm start Linux. Okay, so I need to figure out how to get this npm start to work. So here, let's just double check, actually. Make sure this is the actual problem. Let's go into the app, and let's do node bot.js. Okay, and we get a unhandled promise rejection. And the reason why this is happening is because an invalid token was provided because one of the files that we did not upload to Git was our .env file. So now we need to figure out how to get our client token onto AWS. So this is what I believe Grieco was talking about earlier. Get client token onto AWS. Generate the token. So there's a place where you can store these tokens. AWS store environment variables. So we've got this actually. So there's a parameter store in AWS, which we can use. So let's see if we can find that. Let's keep this. Here's our AWS server. So let's see. Do we have? Yeah, key pairs. Oh. So I'm trying to look for a way to store an environment variable on AWS EC2. Here it is. Bash profile. Okay. Yeah, so let's do that. Okay, so yeah. And so we store them in the bash profile file, and we just export them. Okay. So even worse, how do I copy the key? How to copy via git bash? Okay, I see. So I'm going to copy my key from my env file, and we're just going to copy this whole thing. Client token. And I believe I have to type export. Yes. Interesting. Project settings. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm trying to figure out how to store client secrets in AWS EC2 instance. Secrets manager. Store a new secret. So interesting. So there's something called the secrets manager. Let's see if we can find it. Okay. This looks good. Store a new secret. So this is another type of secret. Default encryption key is fine. The key value, so the key is client token and the value is the actual token. So this is client token, and the value is here. And let's go ahead and do spawn bot client token. And we're going to have to change our code when we do this, but that's fine. Okay. Interesting. I thought it was already a... So let's do this. Okay. Disable automatic rotation, that's fine. So this is the code that it wants us to use in order to get the secret. Okay. Okay. So we're going to do some changes to our code. So here's the secret value. This is fine. Great. We're not rotating. And we need to get the AWS SDK for JavaScript. And we do that probably via Node. Access AWS secrets via JavaScript. Loaded from environment variables. I mean, maybe what we do is we just move this environment file into AWS and call it a day. That might work out, huh? Yeah, let's do that. So I just need a file called .env in the root of my directory. So is it? There it is. How to use Nano. Okay. Control. That's the key. So Control X exits. No. Okay. So I just need a env file in the root of my spawnbot directory that has the token in it. So that's fine. So let's do that. Touch.env. ls sudo nano.env. Okay, and let's paste, and there's my client token, and then I'm going to Control X and save. Yes. File name to write .env. Yes. Okay. And for whatever reason that didn't work. Okay. Okay. Saving. Control O. Got it. Okay. And let's see. It's fine. Route 19. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you know, you can use a VPS. It's just VPSs I find they tend to be more expensive. But yeah. So I need to figure out why this file is not saving. It looks like it is. Oh, got it. Forgot. So it's here, and we can do nano.env. Yep, it's here, and we can just exit. Great, it's here. So yeah, we have a .env file now with our secret in there, and let's go ahead and see if we can run the app. So this is node. So first I want to run bot, and the token was invalid. Invalid token. So let's yeah, this looks correct. We're requiring .env. We've got our token, so let's go ahead and okay. Node version, yeah. Huh. So let's see if our code actually, let's see if our code runs here. Node bot.js. Ah, we're getting the same problem. Invalid token. So this is not a environment problem. It's very possible that we have the wrong token. So let's go ahead and let's get a new token. Okay. Let's see if this works. Invalid token. We must have messed something up. Client token. Undefined. We're having the same problem that we had before of having undefined. Did we just forget to fix that? Was that just something that we didn't have an answer for? Anyone remember what the issue was with the undefined token, where process.env just wasn't working? And how we resolved that? It might have been something that we never really resolved. So let's see. .env documentation. Require and configure .env. Great, we're doing that. Name equals value. Yep. I needed to run the bot from the root, and I'm running it from inside app. Yeah, good point. Yeah, that was the issue. So, so if I do node app bot.js, it works. Okay, great. So, and then npm start does the same thing. Great. Okay, so that was the issue. So we need to copy this into our env file on AWS. So we have LSA. We need sudo nano.env. Okay, and then let's paste, select all. Select all. And we're going to cut the text. Nothing was cut. Okay, and it's fine. Great. So now we can do node app bot.js, and we're ready. So the bot is running on AWS, and it's logged in, and I type ping, I get pong. So this is now running on the cloud. And so next I want to test, can I cancel the bot and run npm start? So can I do npm start here? No, because my npm start is the wrong... my npm start is the wrong... In package.json, it's using Windows format. So I need to figure out how to run a different npm script. How to run different npm script on Ubuntu. Hey, Blargus, I think you're unmuted.
I am so sorry.
No worries. Interesting. So this is kind of a... I mean, this is not really something we need to fix right now, but it is something I would like to fix so that I can do npm start from everywhere and have it run whether you're on Windows or Mac or on Linux. But for now, I think it's going to be a quirk that we have to deal with. And I'm not really going to super worry about it. So we're going to do npm start node app bot.js, and the bot's running, right? So like we could just leave this running for forever, and we could do whatever we want. So now, looking back at our Trello board, we've got the bot set up on AWS. Great. So probably the next step would be, the next step I think would be, first off, fix the Windows to Linux problem, right? Like that's, I think, my next big issue I need to overcome is I want to get it so that when I run npm start, it works whether it's on Windows or on Linux. So that's a problem I need to fix. And then after I've fixed that, I need to get it so that I can push code from GitHub to my AWS server automatically. So that's probably what I would do next. I think I'm going to stop at this point, though. I think this is a good stopping point. We've got the bot running on, like, we made a bot, we connected it to Discord, it's running on AWS, and we've got a GitHub repository set up so that we can push code to GitHub, and then when we have new changes, we can download them onto our AWS bot or onto our AWS server and get the changes. So next is I want to remove those manual steps. I want to remove those steps of me having to manually pull the code from GitHub into AWS and just do it every time that I merge into master. And that will alleviate a lot of the frustration that I'm going to have developing this bot. Because that's going to be a thing that it's going to happen quite a lot, right? Like I'm going to be pushing into GitHub, and I'm going to want to, pull down the code and then rerun the node command, and just, I want that to happen automatically every time I push to master so that I don't have to worry about it. Does that make sense? So that's a good stopping point, and I think I'll pick this up maybe some other time. So the question, why do I need npm start if I'm already running the bot with node app bot.js? That's a good point. Npm start is usually what people use to run node applications, just in case you need to run multiple things at the same time. So that's why, basically, is like in this start script you can run multiple things, and I might want to do that at some point. Or I might want to change my start location or whatever. But yeah, you might want to, and you might even want to chain these commands too, right? Like you might want to do like, okay, before we start, we're gonna run we're gonna have a task runner. We're gonna have all sorts of different things that all run at the same time when I hit start. So I think this is a good stopping point, and I'm going to. Oh, my cat is real mad that I'm not feeding him. Wow, dude. Okay. So, yeah. Does anybody have any last questions before I sign off? I think this is a good stopping point, and I think we got a lot done, honestly. Like, we got a Hello World bot going. It's running on our test server. I can send it a command and it responds, and we moved it to the cloud, and we also got a GitHub set up. So I think that's a lot. We haven't done the CI/CD yet. That's gonna come later. We had to get GitHub set up, and then we had to get Amazon Web Services set up, and then like now the CI/CD is like get the code pushed every time we merge into master. So that's the next step. Cool. Anyways, I'm sorry this was frustrating at times for people to watch, because I was struggling, but like that's development, right? Like, I don't know how to do some of this stuff. So I recorded this whole thing, so hopefully I'm going to try to get this up on YouTube. Because I had someone who missed the entire stream and wanted me to record it. So I hope that the recording is okay, and I'm going to try to get it up on YouTube. Anyways, feel free to continue asking questions in the channel, and I'll try to answer them. Thanks for showing up, everybody.
Huzzah! On the behalf of everybody with no mic, thank you very much. I don't know how streaming can be. It's difficult, especially when you say bye and you get nothing. So round of applause.
Yay! All All right.
Thanks,
bye,
Bob.
bye everyone.